Now, the countries need more tools than impact evaluations. And the donors say, well, we were happy 10 years ago. What else do you have? Therefore, the narrative must change. And has been changing, by the way. It's how can we, through IE, help developing countries to produce the evidence they need, always with a foot on impact evaluation. Let's not forget about that, but let's help them with other stuff. Where is our new niche? So we have to produce new narratives. And we need a hero. And I have a proposal, a new hero. So in 50 years' time, 100 years' time, we will talk about this. Here, there are two blokes. They are friends between each other. They are experts in impact evaluation. They are experts in evaluation. They get along together very well. They are a bit nerds, no? So these are the two guys here. They get along also with weird people, old people. And sometimes they engage in obscure rites, you know? So they go to remote places. They go to remote places. They light candles and all stuff, you know? They eat insects with tequila. And those rites produce something weird and magic. That's our hero. He has the looks. He has the looks. He's all right. He knows stuff. He can talk. He can convince. And he is able to tackle down these guys. In 100 years' time, we will talk about this guy. And I will say, let's make evidence great again. It will be tremendous. Thank you very much. We have to remember that the aim, at least of this talk, is how can we produce evaluation systems, monitoring and evaluation system, or evidence-based information, decision-making in a systematic way, in an ongoing way. That's the thing. It is not that we want only one single impact evaluation. That's relatively easy. We've done that. We do that all the time. That's fine. But we have to produce something which is ongoing. And so that process, that system, if it is mature enough, it will be able to produce diverse types of information and evidence. And of course, that evidence and those evaluations may not be very welcome in certain programs. So evaluations have to say precisely the good things and not the good things about programs. That's the ongoing. That's what we aim to go. However, in order to get there, that's what I was saying. If we start strategically with a program that it is likely to produce good results. So imagine there's a country without any evaluation, and we want to make And we want to make these governments and this country to have an ongoing process. Because if we start with a bad program, then you kill the whole story. You kill the whole process. No one else going to do that anymore. Even if that program was important, because I've heard stories saying, well, yes, but we want to kill that program because it's not working. Let's show that. Well, we can do that. But then the story just breaks there. You don't have incentives anymore from the rest of the agents and the stakeholders to have an ongoing monitoring and evaluation system. So I really believe that if we start with the low-hanging fruits, as someone says, if we start with those programs that are willing to have an evaluation, and perhaps those programs willing to have an evaluation are the programs which are better off, then start with them, and step by step, let's have the rest of the programs. I mean, Miguel remembers very well that after several good evaluations we made in the Ministry of Social Development, then we had this problematic program, Microregiones. And for those guys, it was quite difficult to convince them for having an evaluation, but at the end of the day, they had to do it. And the program was a disaster from our point of view. But you have one problem there in the initial, when we started, with some others that were happier to have the evaluation. When you have an ongoing process, then you can have good and bad and good and bad stuff. And that can be better when the thing already started. And secondly, which is related to the previous question, is what do we do when evaluations say the program is not working? And there are various things we do in Mexico, because we know that this is not nice, and may tamper our system. All the programs have to produce an improvement plan according to the evaluation findings. All the programs. So, if the evaluation of that problematic program, we publish it at the same time with the improvement plan, then the bad news are not bad news, are bad news, but not as problematic as before, because you say, well, yes, I do have a problem, the evaluation is telling me that I have a problem, but at the same time, I'm trying to improve, and this is my plan. We know that programs are not perfect, and therefore, the whole system is allowing you to defend yourself. And thirdly, I didn't mention that, but it was here. In order to keep agents in the hook, as I said yesterday and before, we have an annual award process. We have an event in which we give awards to programs, people, ministries, according to the way in which they produce extraordinary evaluations or extraordinary log frameworks or extraordinary results. We even give awards to the media. So those guys in the media who have been using poverty information or evaluation information, we have given awards to them. So it is a system in when someone is not feeling well about evaluation, because evaluation sometimes hurts you, as reality. Reality hurts you. Evaluations hurt you. Well, let's give these guys a carrot. Give these guys a sweet in order for the system to carry on. And if that is the case, then it's easier for resources to come. It's easier for the Ministry of Finance and easier for Congress to have and put more money on a system which is running, not perfect, because no system runs perfectly, but it makes sense. And I believe that donors internationally will be able to give more money where they see systems working on that level in an ongoing basis. No? And let me just stress this again. it's very nice to have one single impact evaluation in one country, but I think the objective is not that one. The objective is how can we build trust on that government, on that country, to have an ongoing system in the long run.
Gonzalo, have you been able to influence the rest of Latin America in terms of this vision? Because you're very convincing. How successful have you been in that regard?
So it's not. So the main point here is the narrative and the storytelling, and therefore the politics, are different in different countries. Therefore, they have to be tailored according to those realities. And Colombia is different from Mexico, and South Africa is different from Mexico, and South Africa is different from Mozambique, and therefore the realities are different. Inside what I said before, the realities change in Mexico. They are different now. Therefore, here is the ability to say, well, which are the main actors here who we have to convince, which are their interests, which are their incentives, and how can we combine what we have with what they want. Therefore, the stories should be different. And the big story and the magic will be different in different countries. So my bottom line here is, Beth, is let's not forget in our field where we are very good at producing rigorous evidence, let's not forget about those stories. Or, as Howard says, who are we going to hire, this broker of knowledge broker, of some other people who can help us to bridge between what we do and what the politicians are thinking they need. Because if we forget that, then we will be many years here talking about, oh well, why are we going to use it? Why the politicians are not listening to us? And worse than that, we will be thinking, these politicians are really dumb. We are very intelligent here because we have PhDs here, and these politicians are really, really silly. When they have their PhDs, they will understand us. No, it's the other way around. This is the world we live. These are the politicians we have. We don't have others. How can we connect with them? And it's through good politics, good narratives, good storytelling.
Thank you, Gonzalo. One last round of applause for one of the most inspiring presentations we've heard.